Well, today on Nation, Window Cleaners Podcast, we're talking all about $1 million companies. How do they build it? What do they do? What's the secret to getting such a big company? We're going to talk about it. If you're a window cleaner thinking about getting into window cleaning, if you have any kind of business and you're looking to grow, especially in the service business, this is going to be a good episode. So stay tuned to WCR Nation. What's up, everybody? Jersey here from windowcleaner.com, and you are here. That was for Steve-O. Anyway, just want to say thanks for checking us out. If it's your first time here, have a look around. Literally hundreds and hundreds of episodes. We're in our 10th year of doing this. Not season, year. Every week for 10 years. Craziness. So go back, listen. Some of them don't suck. So that's good. Go back, listen to anything and everything there. If you didn't know me, my name is Jersey. I am a rep for windowcleaner.com. I've been in this game now 20 years. I like to talk to myself, so that's why I sit in front of a camera. We'll get to that part later. Either way, if you're not your first time here, appreciate you coming back. You're absolutely awesome. By the way, speaking of some awesome people, three people that I picked to say what's up to. These are just shout outs, guys that order through me. You guys make it so I can live. So thank you. Ryan Jack, what's up? Thank you. Chris Herr, how's it going, man? And Nate Ma, what's up? You guys might know him. He's got a pretty awesome TikTok channel. Anyway. Thank you guys, by the way, everybody who orders from me. Anyway, shameless plug, I'll get to you later. But I wanted to talk about a large company because this time of year when people are kind of looking at scaling and they do start scaling because it's so busy, jobs just kind of come in and they don't realize that there's so many things that have to get done to be bigger as opposed to just like, yeah, we're getting bigger. What ends up happening is we have this kind of moment of clarity through the winter. We go, oh, you know what I didn't do? You know what I should have done? You know what I could have did? Right? We have all that kind of retrospective 2020 kind of ideas later. But this time of year is when actions actually make sense, right? Doing the things now mean that by the end of the year, when we go back and look and go, what did we do wrong? We can look at it and go, ooh, I actually did it right. So it doesn't mean you need to be $1 million company at all. The million's just a sexy number. It's just a number everybody throws out when they're telling you, like, I want to be $1 million company. There's never in the history of anything, especially window cleaning, anybody's been $1 million company. Like the exact number of $1 million. It's usually, over, under, whatever. But it's like $1 million, $1 is different than $1 million, right? So we throw out the number just because it's sexy, it's easy to say, it's there, right? That's realistically what we do. But it's not the being big part, it's the being strong part. It's the could I be $1 million company and still run this thing without it falling off the rails? That's the question. The question isn't, can I get to $1 million? Because you can. You can. No, I can't. I've been stuck to that because you're doing it wrong. You could if you wanted to be there. There's a whole lot that goes into that. But you could be. It's not the number or the dollar amount. It's that how could you get there and still be able to operate your company? And this is what I really like talking about because people always are like, well, how do I get sales? That's easy. Well, it's so easy. I would be doing it. No, you're not doing it right. But the sales part's easy. Every house and business in your entire city, no matter how big or little it is, has windows. Every one of them. That means every person that lives in a house, apartment, or has a business or goes to work is a customer of yours. That's everybody. Now, then you start dwindling it down and going, well, of course I'm not going to get everybody because not everybody's going to pay to have their windows cleaned, and people have other window cleaners, which is great because why don't you have them, right? It's not that the work's not there. It's not that all that stuff. It's that the structure to get there is very hard. It's a roadmap. I'm going to go over a couple things that I think are the biggest faults in companies because I know a lot of guys that are trying to grow and they're just not doing these parts. They're giving it basically no credibility that this has anything to do with anything. They're just like, I don't know, it's just the economy. But I want to start by saying stats of your company, knowing information, is probably the biggest thing that people miss when they look at, okay, well, how am I going to run this? The reality of information is that numbers do not lie. And you know I've said this 1,000 times. You know that. Numbers don't lie. But if you ask anybody, how's business? They go, oh, it's pretty good. I think it feels pretty good. It feels like we're there. Yeah. This is the biggest month ever. Okay, so you know one gross. Great. What's your profitability on that? What's your profit margins compared to your slowest month? Right? Stats is how you know everything. Now let me explain this. This is boring. I won't spend too much time on it. But knowing the numbers of your company, really knowing the numbers, is insanely important. This is how much does each tech earn? Like, how much money can they produce? They do pretty good. You know, usually we're at this much per day. We don't know then. I need to know every job, right? How long is drive time? I need to know every job, because if I'm going to do this and I want to make more money and get more done, I have to pair jobs closer together. If I could somehow have so many customers that the longest drive time I have is 5 minutes, that would be insane. That's awesome. That's why when you have an established route, makes so much money. Right? Okay. Where are my expenses? What am I actually having for expenses? Well, are we running efficiently? Because here's the thing. Say every truck costs you $5,000 a month. That means that if I start a truck, the cost to that truck, that means payments, insurance, the gear that goes in there, the equipment that goes into that, the apparel for the techs that are in there, all of that, we'll say every month, the just riding expenses, $5,000. We'll say probably less than that. Okay. So if I have a truck, how much does that truck have? I have 2 techs. How much do those techs make? Exactly. Every day, every job. If I don't know those numbers, I don't know if I need another truck. I don't know if I'm running efficiently. Maybe you have 10 trucks, but each truck is running for 7 hours a week. That doesn't make sense. The profits are not there, right? This is also why we get into waterfed, which I'm not going to get into because everybody goes, oh, you're selling waterfed. That's not it. But if I could get you something, if you're not in waterfed and you do get into waterfed and it cuts your time in half, meaning you just started making twice an hour what you'd normally make, that's huge. Now I could give you more jobs in a day, making more money in a day by working the same amount of hours. That's efficiency. Well, now if I could take that and just change the little bits and go, well, okay, my drive time's more and I can get more jobs done, right? Maybe instead of working till 3, I have everybody work till 5, right? You need to know the numbers, and knowing the numbers means you can make changes to the numbers and facts, not guessing. This is one that probably 99% of people that I talk to, because I talk to 100 window cleaners a day, easy. People go, oh, I know. No, I truly, genuinely do. I spend 30 hours on the phone every week, not to mention the, hundreds and hundreds of texts a day, right? I get a nice kind of feeling from everybody to kind of know where everybody is. 90% of those people, they don't really know the numbers, right? They don't really know where their efficiencies are, what they're changing, or whatever. They go, I just think I'm going to have to get another truck. I think I'm going to do this. You haven't optimized everything. You optimize everything before you get another person. Stats help that. Most window cleaning companies do not look at numbers the way that they should. Another thing that I think that most companies, 80+%, are failing at is SEO. Now, hear me out. I talk about Monk SEO all the time because I've had probably 3-4 SEO companies that have done work for me that have all sucked. And Monk has literally hit it out of the water. changed my business in 3 months, okay? That's my story. That's why I bring him up, because I know a ton of window cleaners that use him, and he does phenomenal. That whole company is just, anyway. But SEO, actual smart person SEO, is so insanely awesome. So people go, well, yeah, I got SEO. Yeah, this guy called me and he told me for $29 a month, they're not doing anything. Well, I do my own SEO. Do you? Do you? Well, yeah, here's the thing that people miss in the SEO game. Like, well, that's kind of expensive. Yeah, but that's an expense. I would rather spend $750 a month on SEO than $750 on door hangers. Like, if I had to prioritize, it would always go to that. And the reason is, what do you do when you need to find something? Say you need some shoes, or you're like, oh man, I need to get some good pizza. I need to find some weird thing. Oh, I'm going to start bowling. I need a bowling ball. I need, whatever. What do? 100% of you go to Google, you type in, bowling balls near me, or where's the best place to buy a bowling ball? Everyone does that. But the weird thing is that when we change back and we look at our own companies, we go, well, yeah, I do my own SEO. I rank number 1. Awesome if you do, but for what? For one phrase? What if I do window cleaning, window cleaners, clean windows, cleaning windows, window washing, window washers? Any of the changed terms. Understand, SEO is all terms to get you up there. SEO is having people find your business. If you don't just have that as an expense, like you're just like, it's too expensive, I'd rather... That is absolutely, if you do not have good SEO, you will never, ever be a big company, because you're chasing your tail. If almost everybody searches that way and they're not finding you in any which way that they could possibly find, that's a problem. If you built your own website with a Wix account, I'm sorry, your website sucks. Understand, the websites are not just like a picture. If you make a postcard, that's it. It's just a visual thing. People think a website's just a visual thing. Kind of. But that's like 2%. It has to be visually appealing. If it looks like hot garbage, that's something different. But there are metadata that is embedded in a website. There are terms the way that they need to be put in there without being SEO rich. There are things that are in a website, the flow, the bounce rate, everything else that makes it so that it ranks better and gets people converting. If you're not getting I'm talking over 50% of your new customers just coming in, finding you on Google, finding you just normal like that, you're doing something wrong. Because reality is that if somebody goes to your website and they leave right away, that's a bounce. That means they went there and went, this is not what I wanted, right? That's the flow of the website. Has it been proven? Has it been changed? Did you put it and go, I like this and my mom said it was great and I left it up? No, have a company build a website that is good. It's going to look great. But I'm talking about everything else. I'm talking about your metadata, the back-end stuff, the links. The backlinks come into SEO that go back to the website, right? The flow of the website, the way that it is, where the positioning of the number is, the way that it can keep people there. Understand that Google goes and ranks things this way. Google doesn't care about you. It doesn't care about me unless you or me are going to Google as a customer trying to find something. They're only looking for the best possible experience for their customer. And if I send it to a garbage website, the customer goes, this is stupid, I get crappy results. This is why Ask Jeeves, Bing, Yahoo, all those things are dead because their search engine sucked. Google got it figured out. And then what happens is people go, well, we'll give you free email accounts. And then people go to Google and then they're the customer and then they get all these other free things so that they're going to use the search so they can get everything else. And then guess what? Ads are in search. But they're not going to send people to your website if anything about the website sucks. The load time is too slow. the website is not keeping people's attention. It's not answering questions. They're not calling from it. If somebody goes to your website, spends 10 seconds, and leaves, that means they didn't find what they wanted instantly. That is absolutely built into a competent website. If you don't have that, you're just failing yourself. But you need some help with that. So that's why I bring up Monk. Because everybody goes, that's probably the most asked questions. I mean, hundreds of times people are like, who is that again? It's Monk SEO. That's just, I know those guys. I know them. I've known them for a long, long time. They're awesome. I don't have a code for them or anything, but they are insane. They've done the things that they're supposed to do, and I've had other companies who've done nothing and charged me a ton more. That's the only reason I bring that up. Anyway, shameless plug for myself real quick. I didn't mute my computer. Shameless plug for myself. I'm a rep for windowcleaner.com. And I have to tell you that I make money by you placing orders through me. And it costs you nothing extra. I do it. You've given me a virtual high five of awesome. A fist bump, if you will. I know who you are, you awesome people. And I want to be your rep. I want to put your orders in. I want to beg for an opportunity to be a rep. Something super sad is when I see people who place their own orders and I know the name and I'm like, oh man. Because I know that I could have done that for them. The same speed will cost them nothing extra. I made sure that they get their gift. They didn't put that in. They didn't use a coupon code if there was one. All those things. I want to be a rep. 862-312-2026. I'm going to give you my number again. So save it. If you need to text me, be like, yo, Jersey, I'm just saving your number. Do that so it's in there. But my name's Jersey. I'm the only Jersey you know. But here's the number again. You ready? It's 862-312-2026. It's my cell phone. Text me. Call me. I'm on the phone, like I said, all the time. So text me anyway. There you go. By the way, if you ever want to put an order in and it's like 2 a.m. on a Sunday, guess what? We don't ship till Monday. So any order that goes in Monday is the same as going in on Sunday. The absolute exact same. So if it's after 5 o'clock on a Friday, all the way through Monday morning, the exact same. So if you text me in the middle of the night, you're not bothering me, but I'm going to get back to you on Monday because I'm not texting you back at 2 a.m. Anyway. Also, if you haven't yet, check out the American Window Cleaner magazine. By the way, awesome cover this month from Grace. Super, super cool. If you didn't know, it's an awesome magazine. Paper, real paper, sent to your house every single month, exclusively window cleaning magazine. If you're not having window cleaning, then what are you even doing? Also, comes with a sticker sheet. The sticker sheet is amazing. Because I make them. By the way, we're always looking for suggestions. If you got cool ideas, you don't have to like actually design it. Just tell me the idea. But the sticker sheet comes every month too, and that's where you see everybody who posts stickers, like on buckets and trucks and everything else that are window cleaning. You're like, where'd you get the stickers? It's the American Window Cleaner magazine. They come free, but you can also buy them. awcmag.com. Yeah, go do that. Also, you guys know I got some discount codes in the links for you awesome people. Jobber, best CRM on the planet. If you're cash rich right now and you got some money to start that, you never ever look back. The greatest, genuinely, I have not talked about CRMs for the first 8.5 years of doing this podcast because they all sucked. None of them kind of did what I needed them to do, at least to make me. I did my third version of the demo and see it on Jobber, and it blew me away. It's insane. There's a discount code down below for 20% off for 6 months. So if you want to try it, you don't want to pay full price, do that. And I get credit for that one too. But anyway, also print. We have the best print department on the planet. Anything from apparel, like shirts, shoes, hats, logos, print, all of that. It's at WCR Marketing. The code and link is down below that. 15% off print. Anyway, back to it. My favorite thing to tell people when they're talking about scaling or growing is the dentist closing. You know this. I've talked about this. If you've heard it, I've talked about it a lot. I'm not going to go too much into it. But a dentist close is exactly this. When you go to the dentist, before you even have the dentist or hygienist look in your mouth, they're like, all right, well, let's get you with that next appointment. And you're like, okay, cool, 6 months. What does that look like? Yeah, it looks good. No one's ever questioned that. No one's like, no, you want me to go to the dentist that infrequent? I'll call you when my teeth are dirty. But in window cleaning, people go, well, yeah, it's too long. It's just, It's too short. It's not 6 months. It's so weird. It's very, very weird. So the dentist close is just a term that I made up for you to understand that this makes sense. Now, when everything is said and done, the job is done, they are the happiest they are right then and there. I don't book a job for the next cleaning before the cleaning like the dentist does, but I put it all out at the end. Oh my gosh, you look so good. Okay, wait a minute. Very last thing I say. And it's worded exactly like this because of the psychology. Don't go and change this if you're going to try it. But I go, okay, Mrs. Jones, great. So for your next appointment, did you want to do it in 3 months or 6 months? 6 months gets you to September 7th. That would be a morning appointment again, just like this. The wording of that exact line is assumptive to 3 months or 6 months. I give you all the information on 6 months. Your brain, it makes it more comfortable for 6 months. And they're booked. It is really, really hard for someone to be like, no, I'll wait. If you did it right. If your close rate is not 90+% on that, it's just tweak the wording, tweak the confidence. Do you want to have your windows cleaned again? Did you want to schedule or no? I'm going to say no. You're not confident. I'm not confident. What are you talking about? Right? But the dentist close is if you're trying to get to this large company, like let's just think about the $1 million company again. I know a ton of companies that are in $1 million, by the way. It's not a rarity thing when they're real businesses. But somebody does not start on January 1st, have $0 on the books, and go and sell or answer enough calls to get $1 million by the end of the year. They don't do it that way. Now, you will always have new customers calling. You will always have referrals. You will always have all of that. But the dentist close means that if I do a job now, I will have them, theoretically, in the books every 6 months. Those $1 million companies start the year with $500,000 worth of work already booked. All they got to do is get $500,000. It's a lot higher than that, but I'm throwing dumb numbers out. I'm not a math guy. But they already have a ton of money on the books. That's why they can get that every year. You're looking at it going, man, well, it's like I'm trying to get 200,000 and I've been trying this for 10 years. Cool. I get it. But you're starting at zero trying to get there. That's a lot of dollars. It's a lot of dollars, right? The dentist close is absolutely needed to be big, to be strong. Even if you want to pretend to be $1 million company, that's it. You got to work on that. And with that comes answering the phone. So many people. My job is to call people. They're talking to me and I'll call them. Hey, I just wanted to catch up with it. How many people don't answer? It just goes to voicemail. Now, maybe they see it's me. Maybe my number does come up as spam. I get it. But if I am a new customer and I call you and I just typed in window cleaning near me, I call you, you don't answer, I'm calling the next name on the list. Most of the time. If you don't answer, you lost it. You lost the new one. The next guy, nobody's waiting for you. Well, I'm so busy. I can make it happen. What are you talking about? You're so busy. You're so busy, then your priority's in the wrong place. I don't know. Every time I call them back, they don't answer. Yeah. Because they found somebody else. Even if they call you and you're like, yeah, I can get out there this week to get an estimate. They're calling other people. You're the reason you're losing those. You are. So change that. Answer the phone. If you can't, then you get an admin that will answer the phone. Every time. Giving estimates instantly right over the phone. It's the fastest way to get people in the door. And then the other thing is that people don't understand is that if you book someone new, no other window cleaner has them. Understand that if you're trying to take a market share, when you book a customer, that means they're not calling anybody else because they booked. It's done. Cool. You'll be here on Tuesday. That's the end goal. Now they're in your thing and you're going to dentist close them, so they're there for possibly ever. Yeah. Now what does this look like? Now how easy is it? What if you magically had every person in your town? Yeah. You wouldn't be able to keep up with that. Obviously. Right? Answer the phone and make it a priority. If you're like, oh, well, we're just too busy, then you're doing it wrong. It's like the people who put out Facebook ads and they're like, yeah, every time I try to come back, I get ghosted. It's because you did it wrong. Change the ad. No, you think it's the best ad it could be? You think anything you've ever done is the best it could be? Nothing I've ever done is the best it could ever be. It's always improvement. That's one of them. These are simple ones that you just don't see sometimes. And maybe you're guilty of that. Maybe that does happen. But the other one is, once they find you through SEO, through referrals, through whatever, then they call you, you answer, you pick up the phone, you do that. Now you do the work and they trust you, they like you. Man, that company was great. The experience was awesome. They did such a good job. Guess what? Now you have the most valuable person for a business. It's a customer. Because the customers used you, they like you, they love you. Everything was great. The experience was amazing. Guess what? We also clean gutters. Guess what? We also do house washing. Did you know that? We also clean sidewalks. Now the upsell comes in. I loved speaking analogies that are exaggerated to kind of understand, right? But say every customer that you had only got one window cleaned. How many customers would you need to get to $1 million? 500,000, 250, a healthy company. How many? A lot. Oh, well, great. Well, if every customer gets all of their windows done, okay. Now, what if every customer gets inside and outside done every time? Ooh, okay. What if every customer gets it inside and outside done every 6 months? Wow, okay. Well, geez. All right. Now we're talking. Yeah, what if every customer does that and you also do their gutter cleaning in the fall when you go and do the windows? Ooh, wow, man. What if all your customers that do all that stuff also have you put Christmas lights up? Because you also do that, right? Now we're looking at it and going, okay, well, if every customer on average is spending $2,000, I need a lot less customers than if they're spending $20 a customer. When you look at something like a McDonald's and they go, man, well, over 1 billion served, you're like, oh my gosh, there's so many customers. What's their ticket? Now, 1 billion people is unfathomable. That's a ton of money. It's a ton of profits. It's a super successful company, but they're talking to customers at average tickets like $20. That's really tricky when you're looking at companies that my average ticket's $30,000 because I sell roofs. Roofing companies do millions of dollars a year, almost all of them, a lot of them. Why? Because they're selling $30,000 items. So the more money that you get from a customer, the more things you can help them with, the more things that they want to pay you for, the more things that they are going to refer you for, and the better you lock them in because you're helping them. A customer has money in their hand, holding it on. What do you do? Do you do lawn care? No? Okay, well, I'm going to take this money and give it to the lawn care guy. Do you house washing? I need a house wash. No, I'm going to give this to a house washer. They have those for services. If you're doing window cleaning, guess what? They're also not going to clean the gutters. If you're doing their window cleaning, guess what? They're also not going to wash their house more than likely. If you're doing their physical labor and say they do get a grass cut, windows cleaned, they're not going to clean their roof. They're not going to do their concrete. They probably don't even want to get a ladder out for the Christmas lights if that's what you do, right? Upsells to a customer who already likes you, loves you, trusts you, all of those things that are the hardest thing about getting a customer. It's not having them call you. It's not having them, ask questions or any of that stuff. Maybe if you're new, it feels like that's the hardest part. But the hardest part is getting somebody to actually like you and love you. Because guess what? If I got a customer who is absolutely in love with me, any service they need that I offer, they're going to do because they love me. They already know. They already trust me. The hardest part is trust. This is why customers, when you do the bids in the first place, they're like, all right, well, yeah, let's go. Like, you have to let them trust you. If you just tell them we're the cheapest, they're like, okay, thanks, I'll think about it. If you go through and tell them all the guarantees, and you make everything, it's like, hey, you can't possibly not trust us, right? 100% satisfaction guarantee. If you're not happy, you don't pay a dime. That saying gives people, well, there's nothing else that I have to, I trust them because I don't have to pay if I don't, right? The trust is the hard part. Now you got that, doing upsells. Guys, forget to focus on that part. The worst thing a business can do is only or mainly focus on new customers. This is where door knocking sucks, right? If door knocking is your only thing, what happens is you do that job, and all of a sudden, as soon as you're done, you're looking at the next one. Where's the next one? Where's the next one? Where's the next one? You got somebody who really likes you. Maybe you did it for pennies because the way that you did it, and maybe they're halfway actually annoyed with you, but just agreed to it so you'd stop talking. But in every other sense, you have a customer. Now you should focus on that customer more than you ever focus on anybody else. Yes, you need new customers, but you also need more money, not new customers. You need more income, more jobs, more all of that. Existing customers get forgotten. If they're forgotten, you're losing out on the biggest value in your company. That's where upsells come in. Anyway, there you go. I want you to be super successful and comfortable. I want you to be able to go on vacation anytime you want, and the company just runs itself. That means you make $1 million. Fine. If that means you make a healthy income that just allows you to support your family, absolutely. That's what I want. Strength of a company. It does not matter the dollar amount if the strength is there. I've known companies doing millions, multi-millions a year, making nothing. And I know companies that are doing very low numbers that make a ton. It's not about that. It's about doing it the right way and at least building it up so that you can be bigger. Because here's the reality of it is that if you focus on the dollar amount, you're going to fail. It's going to be the slowest thing ever. If you focus on the finish line, you're not looking at what's ahead of you. You're not looking at the next step. We want to build the structure so that the company just takes off, and it can, and you can handle it. I want your company to be less stress on you. I want it to be easier for you. And I want you to comment. If you've made it this far, the comment for this week is going to be easy. Easy. Just put easy. Because then also people who didn't listen this far are confused, but then everybody's like, what's easy? This whole thing's easy? Oh, I guess. I just like that. I love seeing people who listened all the way. So put that easy in the comments on Spotify if you're listening to Spotify, YouTube, wherever you're listening to. Anyway, I'm off my high horse. By the way, you know I'm a rep for windowcleaner.com. I would like to continue to afford groceries and hair gel and food. So please let me put your order in. Realistically, it takes you nothing. You text me and be like, yo, Jersey, it's in my cart. That's all. I could take the rest of it. I'll verify your information. Boom. Bada bing, bada boom, you're done. And I get credit for it off the top of it, and you still pay the same amount. Also, get the American Window Cleaner magazine. If you don't have it and you're a window cleaner, what are you even doing, bro? Get the American Window Cleaner magazine. It's $69 a year. A, you're supporting the industry. B, you're supporting your company by soaking up everything you possibly can. Also, Jobber, greatest CRM on the planet, 20% off. Print, 15% off. All in the comments, too. Anyway, I've taken up enough of your time this week, so if you haven't yet, understand how the big company builds, strengthens, runs, but more importantly, go out there and be epic.